Wait, were you talking about leaf water? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you over the sound of my very strong black hazelnut bean water. Hey Maddie, it's Friday. First, let me start off with Happy New Year, it's 2015. Woohoo! Party on! Because it's 2015, I couldn't help but look back at my 2014, which, was filled with a lot of new things, going to college, finishing my senior year of high school, the works. But it also reminded me of this. Now this would be my jar of books. These are all of the books that I read last year, and I gotta say there was a lot of them, and I'm going to count really fast. Hold on. So I read 46 books last year. I actually found out about this on Tumblr. It's a really cool idea just to see what you did in review and then, kind of smile about it. So 46 is a lot to cover in one video, which is why I'm not doing that. That would be mean. Instead, I'm just gonna talk about my favorites, the picks that I had, and just have a couple of honorable mentions because 46 is a lot and I can't pick like 3. It's impossible. So let's begin. Alright, the first book on my list would be Looking for Alaska by John Green. I don't actually have the book right now in my possession because I lent it to a friend who's also my roommate. So the reason I like this book is that I connected with the characters really well. I think that's one thing that John Green just hits every time whenever he writes a book, whether it's The Fault in Our Stars or Looking for Alaska or An Abundance of Catherines or Paper Towns. I've always described his writing as visceral, and I think that's the kind of writing style I really like. And it's so raw and you can feel the emotions, and I feel like Looking for Alaska was that for me. What I didn't really like about the book, how short it felt when I finished reading it. I wish there could have been more, I wish there could have been closure, but the thing is that's the point of the book. There isn't always closure how you want it to be. You can find out as much as you want, but you don't get everything you want. You never can. Part of the reason I love the book, part of the reason it infuriates me. That's just how it goes. Let's move on now. Next up on my list is a threefer because, 3 books for one, why not? That would be The Darkest Minds Never Fade in the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken. Now, this was definitely a book series that I was not expecting to be as good as it was, and then it was amazing. So yeah, read it, beautiful, awesome. I gotta say, I think my favorite book is the first one. They didn't drop down in the excitement at all. It's just, I feel like the first one was super, super intense and just really raw. Same as the third one. The second one, not so much, but it was still pretty, The genre is dystopian American with teenagers. It's gonna be crazy intense. It was awesome. One thing I did not like about this book series was that I think some of the characters could have been more in depth. I feel like I only got to know 5 characters really well, which is a lot saying. But one character in the third book and in the second book that I really wish we would have gotten to investigate, and we never got that opportunity, would be Liam's brother. But you should really read the series. It was awesome. I loved it. Moving on. Okay, so last book on this list. I was between 2. I decided to go with this one because it was way longer and it was amazing. Would be It by Stephen King. Now, I really like this book because of Stephen King's writing style. I loved The Stand, but that was a book I read in 2013, and so it doesn't count in this video. But Stephen King is like a genius when it comes to writing. Some people don't like it because it's really long. I mean, look at this monster. It was bigger than my biology textbook. That is saying something. And the pages are like wafer thin. Look at that. Look at all of that. Oh my gosh. Yes, I loved it because of the way he wrote his characters, how in-depth they were, how visceral they were. Stephen King is not afraid to write what humans are actually like. And I really appreciate that. Things I did not like. The end. I will say spoilers right now if you really want to read this book. I have not watched the movie because I was told it's terrible. And someone should remake it, make it beautiful, 3-part movie. You can make a fortune and it'll actually be worth it. But at the very end, you have all these adults that are, you know, looking back in the past and regaining their memories about fighting this monster, and they think he's dead when they're kids. And then they're starting to fade, they don't know how to get out of the tunnel, they're not in sync anymore, and it's just really bad. And the only way that they could come together was like having an orgy with the only female character. You could have done something different. The king, please. I mean, she was like 8. What? That's the only thing I didn't like about this book. Everything else was perfect. It was just that like 5-page section of like, no, please no. But other than that, lovely story. So those were my top 3 books of the year, and for the honorable mentions, we have Asylum by Madeline Rooks, City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, because, you know, Cassandra Clare. The Hollow City by Ransom Riggs, which I do not have because it's back in my dorm, and The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare and Sarah Rees Brennan and Maureen Johnson. Alright, that's all I got for you right now, and I will talk to you later. And Tarot Nerd out.